Hi, Dyslexic Genius here, Brett Hurd. My phone number is 864-236-1680, or you can email me at dyslexicgeniusherd@gmail.com. I'm going to show you how to clean the springs on this talk, but I want to point a few things out before I get there. This motor is out of a Victor 812 orthophonic, and this is the chunks of crappy grease you get out. And I think once in its life it was done with wheel bearing grease, and I hate wheel bearing grease. So I took a small screwdriver, because on these there's two set screws on the shaft. And my angel can come around where the screwdriver is going in. That's one of the set screws, holes, to hold the spring barrel shaft in place, so everything spins around the shaft. And the other thing is, you can see the hole right here, barely, the screwdriver's going in. That's where that hole fits in to hold everything in place.
What hole fits in?
The screw fits in here,
fits in.
into this screw, and it looks like this, and that little pin at the end goes into the shaft. You don't want to lose these. The other reason I hate this wheel bearing grease and stuff is it gets all over the governor. This stuff goes everywhere. And the green grease that I use, the silicone high tensile strength stuff here, it doesn't squish out like clay when you crank the machine up. After you crank the machine up, the grease has it's like water. It finds its little trickle area. Well, it's coming out the sides of your spring barrel, and this is a prime example of it. And back in the day, people thought, well, more grease was better. And these are just a little pointers on this. When you start up a phonograph, like I fired this one up, I heard a whoop, 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 and it sounded like the motor was out of balance. And I knew right away that it was missing a governor weight. It had broken off. Luckily, both screws are there, but the spring broke, and it causes the machine to go whoop, 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 whoop. So let me get started on this. I use my 50/50 water and simple grain solution. This stuff here, mixed in the barrel, and I soaked everything overnight. I use either piece of old steel wool 4/0. I have some scrub brushes. This one. I have a stainless steel one if it's really bad. And then I have a nylon one. And I noticed one thing when I took everything apart. And I'll show you here with a scrub brush. It just will just all come off.
And you're using the nylon scrub brush.
I'm using the nylon scrub brush. But then, let's work on it. Use a 4/0 steel wool. One other thing I did, you can see right here, I put a punch mark on spring barrel number 1 with a center punch, and the other barrel I put two punch marks for spring number 2. So that's how you do it. You clean it up. And the nice thing about this late Victor's is, and you can see how the steel wool just gets in there. It doesn't scratch anything, and it cleans it up very nicely. These springs, you'll see right here, are called clip. Literally, you don't have to know what direction the spring went in on these, because the clip tells you exactly. So you reach in here. That's what I want to find the end. And the grease usually builds up here on the end right here underneath. And you can see this is clip. And you want to make sure this hasn't bent up. And if it has, you can send it on a vise and beat that down a little. So we'll just show you what great steel wool does. Gets all over my face. I look pretty. And you take the steel wool and you cup it around like this. And that's how it gets the spring clean. And you just keep doing this like that. That's how you clean it. Now on some occasions, you want to scrub this out. There we go. It'll get stained. And the old flake grease, graphite they put in with the grease, it hardens up like concrete. Once in a while when I'm doing this, I'll take a piece of 600 grit sandpaper and I'll fold it like I do the steel wool to get the hardened off, because the steel wool just won't get in there. And after you're all done, I'll wipe this all down like this. And then I will go, yes?
How do you get the center where it's connected to the barrel?
My angel came up. You just stick a piece of like small screwdriver or something, and you can come in here and that'll clean up. And you can see in the barrel there's a little bump right here. So these are called clip. These are really easy to put in. I will have a video later, probably today, about how easy it is to put one of these in. It just goes boom and you're in.
So you're hand scrubbing it all the way to the center.
All the way to the center. And then after I'm done, because there's water on this, I'm going to take a shop cloth or a paper towel like this, and I'll drown it with WD-40, and that'll be the last clean off.
And why do you use WD-40?
Because it's going to take off the water off the spring. If you're worried about this and you got it all dry, you can set them out in the sun for a few minutes and it'll heat up and dry off. But you can see here, this is staining right there, that mark right in here. We'll get that off. And you can see where the spring is rubbing. Like right here, these marks here, that's where the spring, when it was wound together, it wasn't greased well enough. You know, this is a lot of fun. That's how you do one. You want to make sure when you clean these, pardon me, that this is like you're going to do heart surgery. Allergies are killing me today. You want everything inside the barrel, everything this clean. No residue, any little bit of the old grease in there. Then you pack it up. And I guarantee, once you use the green silicone grease, you put this together, you will never have to pack this barrel ever again. Yes, my love.
So now's a good time to inspect the spring for breaks and cracks.
Yeah. You want to rub your hands on the side here, like this. I'm feeling it when I'm cleaning it. My angel brought that up. But when I'm doing this, I'm feeling the side so there's no nicks. And you can, as you clean, let's get the part out here. As we're cleaning off, any crack will show up. And you want to get these little marks off, like that. Cleanliness is next to godliness when you're packing these springs, and that's my tip for the day.